Welcome to the case study series in Business or AMP, Government Relations by Skilled MBA. The Marshall Plan, officially known as the European Recovery Programme, was a United States initiative to aid Western Europe. From 1947 to 1952, it provided over $12 billion to help rebuild war-torn economies and infrastructure. This strategic investment was not only economic, it aimed to prevent the spread of Soviet communism by stabilizing political and economic conditions across the region, laying the foundation for long-term peace and prosperity. In 1945, Europe faced unprecedented devastation. Cities were in ruins, economies shattered, and millions were homeless. Political instability loomed large, raising concerns about Europe's future direction. The pressing question was whether Europe would choose democracy or succumb to Soviet influence, a decision that would shape the continent's destiny. On June 5, 1947, Secretary of State George Marshall unveiled a transformative plan at Harvard University. By April 3, 1948, President Truman signed the Economic Cooperation Act, dedicating $13 billion to Europe's recovery. By July 1948, aid shipments commenced, marking the start of implementation across 16 European nations. The Marshall Plan aimed to prevent communist revolutions by stabilizing European economies, reducing the allure of radical ideologies. It reinforced United States' influence by fostering political alliances and strengthening Western democratic institutions. Additionally, it created markets for American goods, as rebuilt economies became valuable customers for United States investments. The $13 billion investment, equivalent to $150 billion today, was distributed strategically among European nations. The United Kingdom and France received the largest shares, reflecting their significant post-war needs. Aid was tailored to each country's specific requirements, ensuring effective recovery and stabilization across the continent. Transportation infrastructure was revitalized with repaired railways, roads, and bridges, and shipping fleets were rebuilt, restoring supply chains. Industrial capacity surged as steel mills, factories, and power plants were reconstructed, and coal mines reopened. In agriculture, farm equipment and fertilizer were provided, leading to a dramatic increase in food production. Stalin perceived the Marshall Plan as a tool of American economic imperialism, prohibiting Eastern Bloc countries from participating. This decision intensified the Cold War divide, splitting Europe into two opposing spheres of influence. The Iron Curtain symbolically and physically separated the democratic West from the communist East, solidifying the geopolitical rift. The Marshall Plan spurred a remarkable economic recovery in Europe. Industrial production in participating countries grew at an average annual rate of 15% from 1948 to 1952. Agricultural output increased by 35% above pre-war levels by 1952, while intra-European trade volume surged by 40%, marking a significant boost in economic collaboration. The Organization for European Economic Cooperation, founded in 1948, administered aid and promoted collaboration. The European Payments Union, established in 1950, facilitated cross-border trade. The European Coal and Steel Community, created in 1951, was Europe's first supranational organization. By 1957, the European Economic Community formed a common market, building on the cooperation fostered by the Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan exemplified soft power by using economics as a foreign policy tool. It showcased influence through investment rather than coercion, emphasizing market access and trade relations. The plan highlighted the value of multilateral cooperation, as American aid fostered goodwill and reinforced political alliances, demonstrating the strategic use of economic statecraft. Economic statecraft involves strategic vision, using long-term planning for geopolitical advantage. Conditional support is crucial, with aid linked to economic reforms and political alignment. Regional integration is encouraged, fostering cooperation among recipients instead of bilateral dependence. Institution building focuses on creating lasting frameworks for continued collaboration, ensuring sustainable partnerships and stability. Post-crisis recovery involves analyzing economic rebuilding strategies after systemic collapse. In international relations, business interests significantly shape diplomatic strategies. Effective government-business partnerships are crucial, focusing on collaboration between public and private sectors to drive sustainable growth and stability. Modern equivalents of the Marshall Plan include post-disaster reconstruction programs, development aid to emerging economies, climate finance initiatives, and post-conflict stabilization efforts. These initiatives embody the same principles of rebuilding, cooperation, and strategic investment, addressing today's global challenges with a focus on sustainable development and resilience. The Marshall Plan was more than infrastructure, it was a beacon of hope, turning adversaries into allies and setting the stage for lasting peace. It showcased the power of leadership, vision, and cooperation in reshaping history. Imagine having $13 billion today. How would you strategically invest to rebuild and transform a region? Skilled MBA distills pivotal historical events into strategic insights for future leaders. By analyzing transformative actions like the Marshall Plan, we equip leaders with tools to navigate modern challenges. Our approach emphasizes learning from past successes and failures to foster innovative leadership strategies.